Obviously, another slow start. You guys were, I think, third in the regular season in scoring. First during the playoffs, it was just a different story, especially this series. Did you see anything? Is there anything there as far as giving up the first goal, and then how hard is it to play from behind?
Obviously we didn't want to do that. They had a good PP. They took advantage. And they're a hard team to come back from. We had some good pushes there, but it seemed like they responded every time we scored.
We've seen statistically, it's just really hard to play from behind. And you guys did push in a lot of these games, but percentages say that if you give up that first goal, it's going to be hard.
It's a lot easier playing with the lead. It just didn't happen tonight.
Jamie, in your time here, where do you feel like this team was as far as good of a roster as you had to make a run at the top?
It's got to be, at the top. I felt like we had a solid group from top to bottom, and that's why this stinks pretty bad.
When you guys got up to 3-2, when you got to 4-3, what was the belief level, and how close do you feel you guys were to making it happen?
It was high. There's no quit in this group, and even when it was 3-0, we felt like we could come back, and just fell short tonight.
Losing to them again, is that difficult, or do you just look at them and say they're a really good team?
No, it sucks. 3 years in a row now. You get that close and you come up short. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Obviously not a good feeling.
Early in that first period, the two quick goals, coach calls a timeout. What was the message there and the reaction when Jake gets pulled?
Pretty much wake up, start playing. Kind of left Jakey out to dry there early on, and it's pretty much the message.
What did you think of that decision to pull Jake?
It's not my call.
When you skated off the ice, any thoughts about your future?
No.
None?
Jim Nill said before this season, as long as he's the GM, he wants you to be a Dallas Star. Is that pretty much how you felt throughout?
Yeah.
Jamie, do you feel good about your chances of remaining a Dallas Star for the foreseeable future?
Yep.
If you're here next year, what needs to change for you guys to get that next step?
Just look in the mirror. We all can be a little better here.
You think about getting, Mikko mid-season and, dealing with some of the injuries with Miro at the start of the postseason. How much do you think those things factored into, some of the challenge in this postseason?
We went through a lot of adversity all year. We always rose up to the challenge, and didn't matter who was out. Guys were stepping up, and we just didn't get it done here.
As far as Pete, what has he meant as far as his leadership, and what's made it special with him getting to this Final Four 3 years in a row?
He's meant a lot. Great coach, and I think he's done a hell of a job with our group, and it's been a lot of fun playing for him.
It just wasn't there. What peaked your finger?
I don't know. Obviously we had a kill there early, which could have been a really good opportunity for us to get that done and try to build from it. Our kills was great all year, and so we had confidence, but I think obviously didn't get that one, didn't get the kill there, and they managed to capitalize again after that.
Your team had dominant moments of its own, not just in this game, but in this entire series. Were you guys able to decipher why you didn't get the results from that you wanted?
I'm not sure. I think, not doing enough of it. You know, when you're in the conference final, you're playing one of the best teams in the league, and they're obviously a great team who can make you pay. So, you know, I think definitely could have, I guess, done a better job of, you know, when we're, you know, playing with that energy, just keep that going, and not allow them to, you know, get into the game with, you know, odd man rushes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wyatt, Jamie's on an expiring contract. How can you put into words his value to this team?
Yeah, it's huge. He's our captain. He's our leader. You know, he's a guy that we follow every day. And so, yeah, just such a important part of our team, on the ice, off the ice, and just an amazing person.
If you look at how we played in the third against, when we were up against them, you know, then you start to get odd man rushes because they're overplaying. That's kind of what they did to us. So, yeah, disappointing, but, you know.
When you look at the penalty starts of the game, is that more of an execution or a mentality thing?
Which one, sorry?
Like when you look at the first period starts and being down 1-0 quite a bit, is it more of an execution thing or a mentality thing that you guys look at when you kind of go to the offseason?
Yeah, maybe execution, but I think mostly it's, you know, it's hard to score in this league, and when you get chances to score on a good day, you put those chances away, and all of a sudden you get a 2-goal lead. Like, good example, the game 4 first period. You know, we were on them the whole period, you know, and getting chances every shift, and then one power play and 1-0 to them. So that's kind of the difference, you know, when you get a chance. But everybody's trying to score. You know, it's maybe Skinner had a number this series.
Mika, this is your first playoff run with this team. What's your takeaway in what this team can do really well in the playoffs and what they still need to learn how to do in the playoffs?
Resilient group, you know. I'm very proud how everybody battled. You know, it's even today, obviously very tough start and not ideal to start the game like that, but fought back and, you know, 3-2, had some looks to tie it, and then unfortunate break for them to get a breakaway there. But yeah, I'm proud, and yeah, I don't know, it's too early to say, you know, what there is to improve. You know, I think we got a long summer now to think about it, but yeah, it's 3 years in a row this team has been this close, so I don't know, it stings for sure.
You mentioned the break. You guys fall behind at 3-0, battle back to make it 3-2, and then they get that awkward bounce that leads to a breakaway for, of all people, McDavid. Is that the point where maybe you guys started to feel like this just isn't our time?
Yeah, well, belief was still there for sure. You know, get a goal early in the third, but those sting for sure. Similar in the third when you get a goal, it's 1-goal game, 17, 18 minutes left, and then chucks a puck in front of the net from behind the net, goes in off Esa. So another bounce, but you gotta earn your bounces in the playoffs, and they did.
What did you think about the decision to bench Jake?
I don't know, coaches make decisions, and we were not ready. We were not helping Jake at all in the first 2 goals, so that's on us, not on Jake.
How surprised were you that you guys weren't more ready? I know in the timeout, Jamie said that he said, you know, it was pretty much a message to wake up. How surprising was that?
Yeah, you know, I thought we had a couple of good first shifts, then they score on the power play, then score right after, you know, on a change and get a breakaway, which obviously can't happen in these kind of games. So, yeah, I think we were ready to start the game, and but it was, I don't know what happened there. You know, they were just they get a chance and they scored. I feel like that was the start of the game.
We've had a few series where you had some third period comebacks against Colorado. It seemed like those were, you had the one in game 1, but it seemed like it's tougher in game 3 against Edmonton from the outside. Did it feel like that to you guys too?
Yeah, I think they defended well. You know, we gotta give credit to Edmonton. They defended well whole series when they had the lead, and they played simple, not a lot of mistakes. They made really hard on us to generate good looks, and Skinner was making saves when needed.
You talked about after Colorado that, you know, you felt like there were some similarities with this team to that 2022 team that you won it all with. Was there ever a point where that feeling changed after that?
No, we had belief all the time. I think even those games we lost in Edmonton, I felt like could have won at least one of them. So there was belief until the final buzzer for sure.
When you get this far, 3 straight years, there's going to be a lot of discussion about what's the missing link, what's the missing ingredient. I know you're still very new here, but just coming in with fresh eyes, is there something you can diagnose that, hey, we need more X?
I don't know. I think it's too early, for me to say right after the series, and I think we played 2 good rounds and then kind of they made it hard on us, and we didn't fight through it enough to earn to win a series or win tonight to push another game, and we just didn't do enough. I think everybody tried everything we had and we emptied the tanks, but maybe just give credit to them. They defended really well.
What have you learned about Pete DeBoer and just his ability to coach a team at this highest level and what he means to this group?
Yeah, he means a lot. He's a great coach. He's been around for a long time, a lot of experience, and he's a good motivator, on the guys, and only good things to say about him. He's good, pumping up everybody, waking us up and for sleeping, and he's just overall good coach.